The Israeli military has released security camera footage of a Hamas tunnel. The video purportedly shows Hamas leader Yahya Sinwar passing through the tunnel in Gaza's Khan Yunis. A man is seen leading a woman, children and another man through a tunnel. Israel has identified the people as Sinwar and his wife and children, being led by his brother. The Israeli army raided a town near Jenin in the occupied West Bank yesterday. Palestinian residents in the region said that the IDF detained several men and destroyed a house. The Israeli army said it arrested a person wanted for suspected involvement in terrorist activity. It added that during the raid, a building caught fire, which was later put out. Iran's Foreign Minister Hossein Amir-Abdollahian met senior Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh in Qatar's capital Doha. They reportedly met to discuss the expansion of Israel's offensive in Gaza. Earlier in the day, the Iranian FM held meetings with his Qatari counterpart and the Emir of Qatar. This was to discuss both the Israel-Hamas war and also bilateral relations between Qatar and Iran. The head of the Lebanon-based Hezbollah group has issued a warning to Israel. Sayyed Hassan Nasrallah has said that the cross-border shelling into Israel would only end when Israel stops its aggression against Gaza. He said that Hezbollah would stop its attacks only if a full ceasefire is reached. Israel and Hezbollah have been exchanging fire ever since the Israel-Hamas war broke out. The cross-border shelling has already killed at least 170 Hezbollah members and 10 Israeli soldiers. South Africa has submitted an urgent request to the International Court of Justice. It asked the court to consider whether Israel's plan to extend its offensive to the city of Rafah requires additional emergency measures to protect Palestinians. Last month, the ICJ ordered Israel to take all measures to prevent its troops from committing genocide in Gaza. This was after South Africa accused Israel of committing genocide in the enclave. The U.S. has said that its Navy has successfully protected 2,000 merchant vessels in the Red Sea. An American Navy commander said that they have seen a reduction in the Yemen-based Houthi group's activity over the last 60 days. Since November last year, the Iran-backed Houthis have been targeting commercial vehicles along the Red Sea trade route. The U.S. and the U.K., with help from other countries, have been responding to these attacks. U.S. President Joe Biden has urged the House of Representatives to pass a new $95 billion aid package. The bill was passed in the American Senate yesterday. The $95 billion package seeks to provide funds to Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan. Biden said, and I quote, "This is a critical act for the House to move. It needs to move." Meanwhile, the U.S. House voted to impeach Biden's top border official, Alejandro Mayorkas. Lawmakers from the Republican Party accused Mayorkas of encouraging illegal immigration. Republicans allege that the official failed to effectively enforce U.S. immigration laws and that this led to a record flow of migrants across the U.S.-Mexico border. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi held bilateral talks with the UAE's President Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan yesterday. The two countries signed at least 8 agreements. One of them was the finalizing of a transcontinental trade corridor. The corridor aims to connect Europe with India by sea and rail through parts of West Asia. The Indian and Emirati leaders also agreed on cooperation in the finance sector. This is to enhance the acceptance of the Indian payment service system RuPay across the UAE. Polls have closed in Indonesia and counting has begun. More than 200 million Indonesians voted for their new president and VP. Defense Minister Prabowo Subianto is seen as the frontrunner in the elections. Meanwhile, 2 former governors, Anies Baswedan and Ganjar Pranowo, are also vying for the country's top position. The preliminary results are expected by tonight. Shehbaz Sharif has been nominated as Pakistan's next Prime Minister. He will lead a coalition of his brother Nawaz Sharif's Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz and other parties. This includes Bilawal Bhutto Zardari's Pakistan People's Party. Yesterday, the PPP said it would support Sharif's party to form the government. This could end a stalemate after Pakistan's inconclusive election last week. Myanmar's ruling junta plans to call up young people for mandatory military service from April. According to reports, the junta will also require retired security personnel to serve. This comes as the army struggles to crush an anti-junta insurgency in Myanmar. Turkish counter-terrorism police have arrested a Russian citizen in a probe related to the Islamic State terror group. The Russian suspect was caught working under a fake identity at a Turkish nuclear plant. Last week, Interior Minister Ali Yerlikaya said that Turkey had detained 147 people over suspected ties with the Islamic State. Armenia has said that 4 of its soldiers were killed in cross-border firing by Azerbaijan. They were killed while stationed along the heavily militarized border between the two countries. There has been a history of hostility between the nations over the breakaway Azeri region of Nagorno-Karabakh. However, the border situation had been calm amid peace talks in recent months. This marks the first fatal incident since Armenia and Azerbaijan began negotiating a peace deal last year. In climate news, heavy rainfall and floods have hit Antalya City in Turkey. At least one person died yesterday due to the rough weather. Rescue workers saved some Antalya residents from flooded houses using boats. Storms have also damaged some roads and bridges in the region. Strong winds damaged power transmission lines in Australia's Victoria state yesterday. Over 500,000 homes and businesses in Victoria faced power cuts. Meanwhile, 3 forest fires were sparked due to lightning. 5 firefighters were injured while battling the fires. Australia's Weather Bureau has warned that risks from the stormy weather will continue. More than 2,000 tourists and 500 vehicles were left stranded in northwest China. This was after heavy snowfall in the Xinjiang province triggered an avalanche that blocked various roads. The local meteorological observatory warned of a new round of snowfall later this week. 2 climate protesters targeted a famous painting by artist Sandro Botticelli in the Italian city of Florence. They defaced the Renaissance masterpiece called The Birth of Venus. The activists stuck images of recent flood damage over the painting. They were protesting against the government's failure to address climate issues. The painting wasn't damaged, though, because of a protective layer of glass. Polar bears are at risk of starvation due to the shrinking of Arctic sea ice. This is according to a study published in the Nature Communications journal. With Arctic sea ice shrinking, many polar bears have to shift their diets to land-based food. Researchers found that 19 of the 20 bears studied dropped an average of 21 kgs over the 3 weeks. Trinidad and Tobago is trying to contain the aftermath of an oil spill. The spill occurred last week after an unknown vessel ran aground and overturned. This has affected around 15 kilometers of the Caribbean country's coastline. Volunteers have been focused on cleaning the polluted beaches and protecting surrounding areas. They have also installed barriers to protect the Scarborough port used by cruise ships. Meanwhile, a national emergency was also declared in the country. On to business and tech news. U.S. inflation rose at higher than anticipated paces in January. Official data showed that the consumer prices in the U.S. rose by 3.1% last month. Analysts were expecting this number to be around 2.9%. The latest data has disappointed investors who were hoping for lower inflation numbers. The higher reading will likely delay expected interest rate cuts this year. Cosmetic brand The Body Shop is winding up its business in the UK. This comes 3 months after German firm Aurelius took over the brand. Following the takeover, the firm was unable to revive the body shop's dwindling business. The liquidation puts into risk the jobs of over 2,000 staff across 200 shops in the UK. Retail giant Walmart is reportedly planning to acquire smart television maker Vizio for $2 billion. The deal will help the retail chain compete in the affordable smart TV market. It would also give Walmart access to the breadth of customer data collected by Vizio's smart TV platform to target personalized advertisements. U.S. entertainment firm Paramount Global is reportedly laying off about 800 employees. This represents roughly 3% of the company's total workforce. The U.S. media industry has been grappling with a challenging advertising landscape. Firms like Disney and Universal Music Group have also announced job cuts this year. In the U.S., thousands of performers in California's Disneyland Park are planning to unionize. The group, called Magic United, includes character performers as well as the hosts and trainers that support them. Performers say the union will help them demand higher wages and better working conditions. For the first time in 3 decades, Alaska Airlines flight attendants have authorized a strike. They are demanding better job contracts with higher pay. Yesterday, an overwhelming number of airline crew union members voted for the strike. This was after they gathered outside airports in the US and the UK to demonstrate. Elon Musk's space exploration firm SpaceX has reportedly been fined for worker safety violations. Washington State's Labor Department has fined the firm $3,600. This is after an accident at SpaceX's Washington site led to a near amputation of a worker's foot. The agency has found several violations and a lack of thorough safety programs at the site. Chinese electric car maker BYD is reportedly planning to set up a manufacturing plant in Mexico. The firm is aiming to use the factory to export vehicles to the US. As of now, the EV maker is conducting studies to check the feasibility of building the plant. BYD is also negotiating with the Mexican government over the location and other terms. Google's self-driving car unit Waymo recently recalled its robo-taxis for a software update. This was after a car crash incident in December last year. The firm said that the crashes were minor and no one was inside the vehicle at the time. In recent days, reports of self-driving car accidents have prompted safety concerns in the US. Chipmaker Nvidia's stock market valuation has surpassed Amazon. Yesterday, Nvidia's market valuation rose to $1.78 trillion, crossing Amazon's $1.75 trillion. The firm is now competing with Alphabet, whose market valuation stands at $1.81 trillion. This comes as the demand for artificial intelligence chips has surged in recent days. Moving to sports, let's start with cricket. The West Indies beat Australia by 37 runs in yesterday's T20 match. Andre Russell and Shafane Rutherford both scored half-centuries. The West Indies put up a target of 221 runs. Australia started the chase strong as David Warner scored 81. However, the Baggy Greens fell short while having 5 wickets in hand. Despite the loss, Australia have won the 3-match series 2-1. Meanwhile, Australian batter David Warner announced his retirement from T20 international cricket. This came after the match against the West Indies last night. Warner said, and I quote, "I am truly done and it's time for youngsters to come through and showcase their talent." Warner has now retired from all formats of international cricket. Veteran pacer Trent Bolt has been recalled by New Zealand. Bolt will join the T20 squad for the upcoming series against Australia. The left-arm fast bowler last played a T20 international match for the Black Caps in 2022. New Zealand's head coach says that they are even considering retaining Bolt for the upcoming T20 World Cup. All-rounder Shakib Al Hasan has been left out of the Bangladesh squad for the upcoming series against Sri Lanka. This is because the former captain continues to struggle with issues in the retina of his left eye. Shakib says he has blurry vision, which makes it difficult to see the ball while batting. He has been replaced by Najmul Shanto Hussain as captain. Bangladesh will host Sri Lanka for a T20 and ODI series starting from the 4th of March. In football, Manchester City beat FC Copenhagen 3-1 in yesterday's Champions League match. The first leg was played at the Danish club's home turf, the Parken Stadium. Magnus Madsson scored the only goal for Copenhagen. Kevin De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva and Phil Foden scored for the Sky Blues. Man City now have a 2-goal lead over Copenhagen. The two teams will face each other again in the second leg on the 7th of March. Real Madrid beat RB Leipzig 1-0 in yesterday's Champions League match. The first leg was played at the German club Leipzig's home ground. It was a scoreless first half. Then Ibrahim Diaz scored the only goal of the match in the 48th minute. Real and Leipzig will face each other in the second leg of on the 7th of March. In tennis, world number 3 Coco Gauff was knocked out of the Qatar Open. The American Gauff was beaten by unseeded Katerina Siniakova from the Czech Republic. The final score was 6-2, 6-4 in favor of Siniakova. The Czech player has now advanced to the round of 16. Meanwhile, there was another upset at Doha. World number 6 R Chopra was sent crashing out of the Qatar Open. Unseeded Ukrainian Alessia Sorenko beat the Tunisian Javor 6-3, 6-2 in straight sets to advance to the round of 16. In athletics, Indian Olympic gold medalist R Chopra was spotted training yesterday. Chopra was seen sweating it out at a gym and then on the field in South Africa. The Indian said he will try his best to repeat the glory of the Tokyo Olympics at the upcoming Paris Games. Chopra scripted history by winning the first ever track and field gold for India at the Tokyo Olympics in the men's javelin throw event. Pro golfer Tiger Woods has launched his own clothing and apparel brand. The new venture is in collaboration with golf apparel maker TaylorMade. The official name of the clothing line is Sunday Red, with a logo that shows a tiger leaping. The new Tiger Woods brand comes just a month after he ended his 27-year-long partnership with sportswear giant Nike. In the world of entertainment, Indian actor Shah Rukh Khan has denied his role in the release of former Navy officials by Qatar. His manager issued a statement saying assertions of his involvement are unfounded. This comes after an Indian politician claimed that Shah Rukh Khan had helped the Indian government to secure the release of the Navy veterans. 8 Indian Navy veterans were arrested in Qatar on espionage charges. Singer Katy Perry announced that she will be exiting the singing show American Idol. Perry said that she would be unavailable in September as she will be performing at a music festival in Brazil called Rock in Rio. Katy Perry joined American Idol as a judge in 2018. According to reports, actor Stephen Amell will play the lead role in the upcoming Suits spin-off series. He will play the character of Ted Black, who starts a law firm which specializes in criminal and entertainment law. The series, titled Suits LA, got a green light to start production earlier this month. Amell is known for his roles in Arrow, Stars, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. After months of searching, the makers of the upcoming film Superman Legacy have signed Rachel Brosnahan for the role of Lois Lane. The actor says she's very excited and feels she has big shoes to fill. Brosnahan revealed that she will join her fellow cast for a script reading session next week. The red carpet for the premiere of Jennifer Lopez's upcoming film, This Is Me Now, A Love Story, was rolled out in Los Angeles. Lopez entered the venue with Ben Affleck with their glam game on point. The duo were joined by other celebrities like Derek Hugh, America Ferrera, and Fat Joe. The film is about the events that inspired Jennifer Lopez to create her latest album, This Is Me Now. Meanwhile, the premiere of the upcoming film Madame Web was a star-studded gala. The cast members like Dakota Johnson, Sydney Sweeney and Isabella Musset arrived in style for the event. Madame Web is a spin-off of the Spider-Man franchise, which is set in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The film hits theaters today. Actor Andrew Keegan has set the story straight about the rumors which claimed that he ran a cult. He stated in a podcast that he was never a cult leader. Keegan revealed that he got together with some local people in California and started a community called the Full Circle. The aim was to do positive things for the community spiritually. Keegan finally put the claims to bed, which started doing the rounds in 2014, alleging that he started his own religion. The trailer of Netflix's fantasy film Damsel was released yesterday. Stranger Things actor Millie Bobby Brown leads the film as Princess Elodia. She is shown fighting against a fire-breathing dragon in the trailer. Damsel will start streaming on Netflix on the 8th of March. According to reports, a live-action feature film on the comic book The Storm Clan is under production. The film will revolve around a sci-fi action-adventure plot, which will follow the story of an ex-military official training his children to become undercover thieves. Dallas Jackson, who is one of the creators of the comic book, calls this a dream come true. One of the major European film festivals of the year, the Berlin Film Festival, begins tomorrow. Kenyan-Mexican actor Lupita Nyong'o is serving as this year's jury president. The festival will screen over 100 films from around the world. 20 films are competing for this year's top awards like the Golden and Silver Bears. Preparations are in full swing for the event, which will continue till the 25th of February.
From impeachments to inaugurations, if it's a political story, we are on the scene. The race for the White House is heating up.
We're beating Biden.
How dare he say that?
If it's breaking news, we're live with the latest coverage. From the White House, the State Department, and Capitol Hill, we know the issues, but above all, we know the players to bring you the latest in-depth analysis on all the key stories that we're covering. I'm Eric Ham. Join me from Washington here on Firstpost America.